Hey up, it's that old Yorkshire geek, and I've got the wrong thing on there, haven't I? Where have I put the bloody thing? There it is. Hey, I bet you thought I was going to do a Star Trek review then, didn't you? But no, it's Star Wars. It's Obi-Wan Kenobi, episodes 1 and 2, which I'm going to review for you now. Before we start, I quite enjoyed these 2 episodes. I do have some issues with them, as a lot of people do. But, as a piece of entertainment and just watching it for what it was, I didn't hate it. I quite enjoyed it. So we'll get into it anyway. We'll do what I normally do. I've got the videos queued up and we'll just go through them, as a series of stills. And I'll try and remember what happened because, as usual, I've no notes because I'm a lazy bugger. Right, hang on, let me get sorted here. Where are we? Right. So, blank screen, but we start off with, is it going to show it? I bet I don't find, no, I knew I won't bloody find it. We start off with a recap, There we go. We start off with a long time ago in a galaxy far, far away. Can you see that? Not very well centred, that, is it? Come on, you bugger. There we go. A long time ago in a galaxy far, far away, which were kind of cool. I don't think we've seen that on a TV show, have we? A Star Wars TV show? I don't think we have, anyway. I know we saw it at the beginning of the Clone Wars animated, theatrical thing. We saw it on that, didn't we? But I don't think we've seen it on the TV. Correct me if I'm wrong. Anyway, so we see that, and then we have a recap of basically the prequels, the Star Wars prequels. There we see Anakin meeting Obi-Wan for the first time, and there's Qui-Gon. Obviously on Tatooine, there's Darth Maul, and see all this stuff. Oh, there Qui-Gon gets killed. Obviously, so Obi-Wan, promises to train Anakin. Then there's Anakin being all grown up. This is obviously Attack of the Clones, doing the speeder chase after the assassination attempt on Padme. Dee-dee-dee-dee-dee. And then, I don't mind flying, but what you're doing is suicide. The race acting. Oh, there they are getting married, look. I could have. I thought. Maybe I'm misremembering. I somehow remember in me Mandela effect brain. I seem to remember that being his robot hand, but they've swapped it around in that. So maybe I'm remembering it wrong. I probably am because I'm an idiot. But I'm an idiot on my birthday. It's my birthday today. 55 bleeding years old. Unbelievable. I never thought I'd make it past 50. But I did. There's Anakin anyway. On Coruscant with his scar. So this is obviously Revenge of the Sith. There he is with Palpatine. Rey's grandfather. And there he's having his visions of Padme dying. And there he is on Mustafar about to fight Obi-Wan. And there Obi-Wan leaves him to die in agony, burning on Mustafar. Steals his lightsaber, Your father wanted you to have this. He didn't even know he existed, did he? Maybe they'll retcon it in this series. Maybe they have their meeting in this series. Spoilers. Not in these episodes, but, they're going to have the rematch of the century, aren't they? They're waving my arms about. You can't see, but I am. We're going to have the rematch of the century. So maybe he'll say, I've got your lightsaber, doing his Alec Guinness impression, and Vader will say, give it to my son. Oh, whatever. But I bet he don't. So there we go. So that's when Palpatine finds him, and they take him away. They're all burnt and charred. And there he goes. He's becoming the Vader we know. Obviously, he was Vader before this. because, remember, he became Lord Darth Vader, when he looked like Anakin. It's not just Darth Vader in his suit, he was Darth Vader before that. And that's one of the problems with this episode later on. We'll get to that. There he is, just before he does his no. George, we love you, but you make some weird decisions. And there's the hang on, what we're doing. Oh, it's faded out. That were obviously Jar Jar. Are we going to see Jar Jar in this series? Why did they show him there? Don't know. Oh, and there's Thingamabob. That we saw Jar Jar. We're obviously at Padme's funeral. And here we see Obi-Wan handing over young baby Luke to Aunt Beru. Owen's over there. Can you see my cursor? There he is. Owen's over here somewhere, isn't he? Looking at the twin sunsets. Must be a family thing. There we go. With the terrible blue screen. It looks awful. That's something from the 50s, doesn't it? That looks awful. That looks terrible. You dropped the ball there, George. Or ILM, or whoever did it. Right, we're going to get into the episode now. Right, we're going to do this. I've got to go through this because I noticed something. I don't know if it's been on before, but I'll just cycle through. We do these little. Hang on, I've got the audio on, haven't I? We don't want that if I'm doing stuff right. They go through the heads, don't the helmets? There we have R2. There we have a stormtrooper. A weird looking one. There we have BB-8. And there we have, is that the, what's her face? The armourer from Mandalorian. What's she doing on there? I don't know. Does that mean we're going to get an armourer spin-off? And a mouse droid. What's that doing there? I don't know. We're going to get a mouse droid spin-off. There's Kylo. There's Mando. There's 3PO. There's Vader. And that's it. So we're going to get... there's some weird decisions of heads in there, didn't there? A mouse droid. What's a mouse droid doing in there? And why was the armourer in there? The armourer in there. And not Boba Fett. Who knows? Right, so off we go. There we go. All right. Another look back at the prequel era, or what happened in the prequel era. We see some younglings training on Coruscant at the Jedi Temple. And then, there we go. There's the training look. And then we hear all stuff kicking off in the background. Here we go. Clone troopers enter and start shooting. Because, execute Order 66. That's happening. So obviously the younglings leg it, their peculiar helmets on. I don't know what's pointing them, but as the Jedi Master defends them, see it's all going off in the background. Pew pew. But the clone trooper blaster bolts always blue. They're blue in this, and they probably were. Again, another Mandela thing for me. But it's weird seeing blue blaster bolts. Here we go. The Jedi Master is still defending the younglings, but obviously it all goes pear-shaped. When do we get there? Here we go. I think she's being shot there. I think a thing's hit her there. A blaster bolt has hit her there. And then she goes down. See, I've missed it, you see, because I'm useless. If you hear any clicking, I don't know if my microphone picks up stuff like that clicking, but... oh, for Pete's sake. Here we go. There she goes. She goes down. Look, she's got a burny part in a midriff. So she looks a little bit like... is that Linda Park, who played Hoshi Sato in Star Trek Enterprise? Probably not. Probably call me racist, saying all Asian people look the same. I'm not saying that at all, but she does. She has a look of Linda Park. Maybe it is her, maybe it isn't. I don't know. I'll have to look it up. Anyway, so she goes down, and the younglings gather round. There we are. There we go. And I think Can you see my cursor? Yes, you can. I think this one here, is it this one or is it that one? One of these, POCs. I never know the words to use these days. Sorry, these. Either her or her, they or they, whatever, is going to be the character that we come to know as the third sister or Reva, the Inquisitor. But I don't know which one, but one of them. So I don't know what happens to the others. Maybe they become Inquisitors as well. I don't know. Maybe they get killed. We don't know. Right, so it goes to... There we go. There are the titles. Look. But you can't see all of it because of my silly border. Anyway, Obi-Wan Kenobi. And then it says 10 years later. Well, it would do if I clicked on the right part. There you go. 10 years later. You can't see it from my Star Wars logo. Never mind. Trust me, it says 10 years later. And we see a city there. I presume that is Mos Eisley, because that was where, Obi-Wan tended to hang out, didn't he? He knew the cantina and all that. So I presume that's Mos Eisley. Somebody have said that that is the crashed spaceship that you see in the middle of Mos Eisley. I can't really tell. It might be. It might be. We see, people going about their lives at Mos Eisley, obviously on the little back lot that they built for all these desert planets. This has been everything, hasn't it? It's been Navarro and Mos Eisley and that town where that fella, I forgot his name now, him that used Boba Fett's armour, that town. Freetown ended up calling it, didn't they? But it's been that as well, no doubt, probably. Anyway, so people going about the business, and then a ship arrives. See Martin and Jawas and stuff, and droids and all that. It's very Star Wars. There we go. We see a ship fly over with, a not very good shadow. It's a bit too defined, but it looks a bit cartoony. But whatever. We get the idea. And don't bother with landing bays, these Inquisitors, because everybody seems to land, at docking bays, don't they? Docking Bay 94 and all that, Mos Eisley. Not the Inquisitors, they just land in the middle of the street, because they don't give a monkeys. There you go. In their Inquisitor shuttle. I'm sure it's got a name. And a model and all that, and, statistics up the Jehu. Whatever a Jehu is. Here we go, they come out. Let me go back a bit. I'm pressing the keys. Little notes happening. Because I'm. There we go. Anyway, they come out. So we see the Grand Inquisitor there. Oh, it's terrible. And I know it's supposed to be. I don't know the race. It Powwow or whatever they call them. From Utapau. We saw them in Revenge of the Sith, didn't we? And it looks nothing like one of them. And there's Reva in the background. There's I can't remember his name. I do apologise, but it's not bad. And I think we've seen him and him. We've seen him in like the Clone Wars and Rebels, haven't we? Particularly Rebels. It might just be Rebels. But anyway, they come striding down. They've obviously got dastardly things to do. Well, there we go. It's a better shot. And I don't like his head's the wrong shape. It doesn't look like what we've seen in live action before. People say, well, we all look different in the cartoons. Look what they did with Count Dooku and all that. And, they were all stylized. But we saw them in live action in Revenge of the Sith. And they didn't look like that. And they had sharp teeth. And this actor, Rupert Friend, I didn't notice any sharp teeth in his mouth. So... Or maybe he's not quite. Maybe he's one of those, or maybe he's like a subspecies, or he's related to him. I don't know. But he doesn't look like he did in Rebels, particularly with the teeth. Anyway, they go to this like a canteen or a little bar, a saloon they call it. Don't they call it a saloon? There he is. And they're obviously looking for Jedi. There we are, there they go. And they've heard that there's one there, and we're all thinking, ooh, they're talking about Obi-Wan, but no, it's another one. It looks horrible. Looks nothing like the race is supposed to look like. Can you see his teeth there? If I get him to talk. There we go. It's got normal teeth in there. I can't see points on them teeth. I mean, the actor's fair enough. He's got a good voice and that. He actually reminds me a little bit of like a Babylon 5 alien. You know, like I forgot the name of that. John Vickery. He's got that sort of voice that we saw in Babylon 5 a lot as like Minbari and other races. But particularly Minbari. He sounds a bit like him. But that's just an observation. Anyway, so, you know, the questioning the bartender, I presume is the owner. You know, he denies all knowledge, and then the third sister, aka Reva. Look, his eyes turned. Look, they went Sith eyes. Because obviously the rule of 2 only applies to Darths. It must. You can have as many Sith as you want out there, as long as they're not Darths. You can only have 2 Darths. There we go. That's the Jedi. Look, he's got his. He's doing something there. But we know the third sister. She picks up a knife from one of the plates. I might have missed it. I might have gone past it. Yeah, I've gone past it, haven't I? She throws a knife. Yeah, I think I've gone too far. I'm not right good at this, am I? Come on, go back. Have I done it now? There we go. Are we gonna? Oh no, she's still pointing. See, I've gone too far. Come on. I've still gone too far. Anyway, she throws a knife and it stops in midair. See if I can catch it on there. In a still. It's not going to happen, is it? They don't want to. Come on. Going backwards and forwards. There, we're going to see it here. There you go. She picks up that knife. There we go. And she throws it at the bartender, manager. And there you go. It stops in midair. Obviously, the Jedi's used his force powers to do that. Everybody go, oh, crikey. And then she realises who it is, because obviously a fella going, using the force. There we go. And he runs for it. There we go. There he is running for it. And they go, the good. Actually, no, they don't chase after him, do they? Because the Grand Inquisitor plays pop with Reva, which he does quite a few times in this episode, because he says she's impulsive and you know, she has no patience. A bit like Luke in Empire, remember? But so they're obviously the fomenting a bit of tension between. You can't see him in there, but is the Grand Inquisitor? Not the wrong bit. There is the Grand Inquisitor. He's telling her off. You know, basically he's got away because she was too impulsive. They could have got him, but you know, they'll have to wait for another chance. Anyway, there we cut to. I don't know what this is. It looks like a big shark or a big ray of some sort, doesn't it? I think, well, Heavy Spoilers said it was a crate dragon. That looks nothing like a crate dragon to me. It looks like some sort of big ray. It's like a sand ray, sand shark. As you see its eye there and its mouth. Anyway, it's obviously dead. So there's this another big Tatooine creature that moves about under the sand. I presume so. Anyway, what they're basically doing the harvesting it. This is like a meat processing plant. And this is where Obi-Wan works. Here we go. We're seeing going about the work. They're cutting up the meat there. It's a bit like tuna, isn't it? Bit like tuna. So they're doing all this. They're cutting it up. And then we see Obi-Wan. The whistle goes. This little droid that's put his steam thing, like you see, like on Flintstones and stuff. So they all just stop what they're doing and just leave this meat there. Why is it in America? As soon as a whistle goes at work, people just walk out. And as soon as the bell goes in class, the kids all just leg it. When I was at school or at work, if that happened, they did that. They'd say, you get back and finish what you're doing. Christ. But no, they just walk off, leave the meat there. Probably all insects probably landing on it. Should wait until you're relieved, shouldn't you? Till somebody else can come in and say, right, I'll take over now. If there is going to be another shift, I presume there is. Anyway, so they're supposed to go and collect the wages, and there's like a machine there. There's Obi-Wan, and he collects a little bit of meat. That's for his Eope. Probably get in trouble if they saw him doing that, but he gets away with it. Here they are, the little machine. Oh, it's a power droid, a gonk droid that's got the steam thing on, that the steam whistle. Why is it steam powered? I don't know, but so they put the cards in and they get some money out, and one fella notices it's only half. There we go. There he is saying, "No, it's only half." To remind us, it's supposed to be a bit like in Force Awakens, where it's a 1/4 portion, whereas in this one they're getting credits or whatever. And it's only half what it should be, and the horrible bloke there says, tough. Then Obi-Wan stands there and doesn't do anything, because, he's not the man he used to be. Although he does say some things a bit later to kind of contradict the way he's living. But so he doesn't do anything. He just collects his coins and leaves. There he is, confronting this horrible boss man. Maybe he'll get his comeuppance later. I don't know. He doesn't in these 2 episodes. Maybe he will. Maybe he won't. There we go. It's there then on the transport going back to wherever they're going. Probably Mos Eisley. Yes, they are. There it goes. Look, they're heading back to Mos Eisley. Presume it's Mos Eisley. Probably not Mos Esper. Or there are others out there on Tatooine, but don't ask me, I can't remember. There he is with his Eope. Is that how you pronounce it? Eope? I don't know. He gives it so these are obviously carnivores. We found out in Boba Fett that banthas are carnivores because he gave that some meat, didn't he? Maybe they're omnivorous, I don't know, but it was assumed that like beasts of burden always tend to be herbivores, don't they? But not in Star Wars. So he gives it his lump of fish, bit of tuna, and it eats it, and it's all happy. And he goes and rides it out to his dwelling, because he's living in a cave. There he goes, off he goes. He's living in a cave at the moment, so he spent 10 years in a cave. I don't know when he gets his little house, probably at the end of this series. It's only 6 episodes, by the way, so we're already a third of the way through. Here he is. He's arrived at his cave. And I must admit, I do like the effects. The CG is very good at this Eope, particularly when it gets down. It's very, obviously they've studied like camels and stuff. And it looks very good, very realistic. But when it were walking across the sand, it did look a little bit floaty, as though, it wasn't quite right. But it's okay. The effects are generally good. So here we go. It goes to his. There he is. He's making his little stew or whatever it is. And another thing that that's supposed to remind us of the Force Awakens. Remember when Rey added floury stuff into that water and it just rose into a little bread cake, whatever. It's to remind us of that. It's a little bit like that, but but different. Then what's next? There he is, just sat eating his tea. Or as we'd say in Yorkshire, eating his tea. And then a Jawa appears there between his legs, a bit like The Graduate. Whereas Ewan McGregor's been the is it Anne Bancroft role there, and that's Dustin Hoffman. I'm waffling. So this Jawa arrives. He's got a name. I can't remember it. So he's got the obviously Ben. He's going by the name Ben, by the way. Has asked this Jawa to find him something, and there we go. It's a model of a little T-16. I think it's T-16 in it. Skyhopper, the one that we see Luke playing with in A New Hope. And he's got a real one that he's built. I think we see in the back of the garage, don't we? So he's got that. And then we find out that the Jawa's been stealing parts from his moisture evaporator. Obi-Wan kind of just shrugs it off. Because, it's been a little bit pathetic, I must admit. He's been a bit pathetic. Maybe by design. Oh, yes, then he learns. There we go. Oh, you can't see it. We stripped that Jedi's old ship. That's what that writing says there. We stripped that Jedi's old ship. So that's when he finds out there's a Jedi on Tatooine. Obviously, not talking about his ship. They're talking about another one. And this is a belt that he's holding. A Jedi's belt. There we go. One escaped across the Dune Sea. So Obi-Wan's, he's worrying now that there's a Jedi knocking about, and that'll bring, unwanted attention. Anyway, then he goes to bed, and then he has dreams about Mustafar and all that, and Padme. There he is, look, having bad dreams. There he wakes up, look, in the middle of the night in a cold sweat. Oh, there's one of them. It's not a womp rat, apparently. I always thought these were womp rats, but they're not. They're called something else. But don't ask me what. Scurrier, that's what they're called. So he's on his AOP again. He's heading. I can't actually remember. We'll find out in a minute. I think he's heading to Mos Eisley, I do believe. Oh, no, he ain't. He's going to the Lars homestead to check on Luke. That's what he's doing. So there he is with his macro binoculars. There he is, checking on the homestead. That's Luke there. His hair looks a bit dark, doesn't it? You can't see him. But over here, there's... can you see my mouse pointer? There it is. Over this side, the right side, there's Owen doing something, but you can't see him there. But here's Luke. Anyway, he runs off, there's Luke. And I was going, where's Luke gone? But it turns out it's just... see, they're looking for him. Like, Luke! But he's... see in a minute. There he is. The bit that we saw from the trailer. This is all we see of Luke, by the way, in these first 2 episodes. And I suspect we won't see a great deal of Luke in this whole series. We might see a bit at the end, but I don't think we're going to really see much of him. But there he is. It looks like he's pretending he's pod racing, just like his father used to. And there's Ben. Oh, pardon me. Anyway, so night falls, and Obi-Wan / Ben, Obi-Ben, arrives at the Lars homestead, and he leaves the T-16 in a bag there outside the door, and he sods off back to his cave. There we go. Some plants there, look. Some plants there, can you see them? Look. So Tatooine's not all sand, though we do have some plant life. Which we saw in Obi-Wan, Boba Fett, didn't we? We saw that tree, because he went out and found a tree, didn't he? Because Tatooine used to have seas and all that. They seem to be building up to maybe showing us Tatooine with water at some point. That's my theory. Right, anyway, so on his way back, he comes across this Jedi, the one that we saw in Mos Eisley, being chased by the Inquisitors. He's obviously tracked Ben down. Well, he says Obi-Wan. Obviously, so he knows who he is. How he knows who he is, I don't know. But he says, my name's Ben. And he goes, yeah, whatever. And, he's asking him for help. He's asking Obi-Wan for help. But Obi-Wan, he won't help. And he says, the Jedi lost. We've got to forget about the Jedi. A bit like Luke in Last Bleeding Jedi. He said, it's time for the Jedi to end. Well, this is what Obi-Wan's like. He looks all very sad. Anyway, he sends the Jedi away. He's got a name, but Don't ask me, I can't remember. As I said, I don't take notes. Look it up on IMDb, for God's sake. Do some of your homework. Anyway, what's these marks on his face? I don't know. So is he human or what? I don't know. But he seems to have these markings on his face. Look, some there on his cheek there, and on his forehead, and his chin. Or is that just a dimple? I don't know. Anyway, basically, it just sends him away. And we find out later it sends him away to his doom. Hang on. So I've gone a bit too far again, haven't I? There we go. Cut to Alderaan. There it is. With its mountains and forests and all that. And it's all lovely. Unknowing its fate in 10 years-ish. 9 years. Anyway, so we see the young Leia. The young Princess Leia Organa. She's getting... so obviously she's supposed to be going to... obviously, being a princess, you know, she has royal duties to perform. Even though she's only 10-year-old, she's still got stuff to do. So they're dressing her... but it's not actually her, we find out. It's a little alien girl, and Princess Leia's buggered off and told her handmaidens to do this. So, because she's a little sod, basically, in this. And I must admit, she's quite unlikable. Anyway, I can't remember her name, but her mother comes, Mrs. Organa, there we go. She arrives and she finds that this, she thinks it's Leia, but then she takes her hood off and it's not, it's this little alien girl. And she said, Leia commanded us to, do this. She's gone into the woods. Ah, there we go. So, looks a bit smug here, doesn't she, I think she said, Leia thought you'd think it was funny. I think that's why she's smiling. But her mother's not happy. She's not happy. So anyway, we cut to the woods. There, we see Leia with a little droid called Lola. Don't know what she's called it Lola for. Maybe it's a, like C-3PO. Maybe it's a L0LA. I don't know. But it's called Lola. It flies about behind. There it is, look there. It's actually a bit reminiscent of the little robots, the little alien robots we saw in that old film. Remember it? Batteries Not Included. That's going back, isn't it? That film with Hugh Cronin and Jessica Tandy and other people. That were kind of sweet, but a bit crap at the same time. But anyway, Lola reminds me of one of them little alien flying saucer creatures from Batteries Not Included. But there's Leia, look, with her goofy teeth, and I suppose she's a fine young actress, but the character is quite unlikable and a bit bratty. But I suppose she's supposed to be. Anyway, she's watching ships take off. Apparently that's a tri-wing they call it, a new ship that we'll probably see more of. There's a mother and some guards looking for her, and they do find her, and there we go. She's in bother. So anyway, so she goes back. Oh, our mother confiscates Lola. Says, takes it off her. Like kids today, they'd have the phones confiscated. She's having a droid confiscated. Blah, blah, blah. So anyway, there we see there's Flea from Red Hot Chili Peppers. I'm not a fan of that group. If I hadn't known already that that's who it was, I wouldn't have known. I'm not a fan of Red Hot Chili Peppers. I like me rock and me metal and stuff, but Red Hot Chili Peppers didn't do it for me. But apparently that's Flea. Don't ask me the names of any of the performers from Red Hot Chili Poppers. I don't know. Anyway, so, he's up to no good. Dee. Oh, there we're back with Obi-Wan back at his his tuna processing plant. He's stolen a little bit more for his AOP. And he was back on his transport. There it goes. He's feeding his AOP again. I think he meets Uncle Owen now. There we go. Yep, Uncle Owen brings the little model back, throws it on the floor. Says, stop coming round, because obviously they don't like him. And basically Obi-Wan, Ben, says, he's got to keep an eye on him. And the boy needs training, he says. And then, Owen says, like you trained his father. Like, ooh, sting. Wouldn't the little punch in the guts there. And he's right, basically. He's right, he's Owen, They buggered it up, didn't they, Jedi? And particularly, Obi-Wan has some responsibility. But the way he says it, though, the boy needs training. I thought Ben were here pretending not to be a Jedi. He hadn't even got his lightsaber, as we find out in a bit. He's done like Luke did. I think he's cut himself off from the Force. Because, people can sneak up on him and he don't realise it, like the Jawa and the other Jedi. But it suddenly said the boy needs training. Well, I don't know. I think they forgot. So that happens a lot with writers these days. They just scribble things. Is it like first or second draft and they haven't corrected something? Anyway, so while all this is going off, the Inquisitors arrive. Basically, it's saying, stay away from us. We don't want you around. That wizard's a crazy old man. They don't like him. Because, they don't like what happened, which is fair enough. And he says, Anakin died. So obviously, he thinks, can you see here? Ben thinks that, Anakin's dead. So obviously he's not seeing any news. There's the Galactic News Net. There's not getting it where he is in his cave or anything. They mustn't play it on in the background, the radio or whatever, on where he's working. So he's not knowing that there's Darth Vader knocking about. You think it'd be on the news a bit, wouldn't you? He's a figurehead, isn't he? He's Darth Vader. He's famous. People know about him. But obviously he don't. But he knows Anakin is Darth Vader, doesn't he? Because he saw it in Revenge of the Sith. He saw that hologram of Palpatine saying to Anakin Skywalker before he became, his suit, said, "Rise, Lord Vader." He says it clear as day. So he does know that. And that's, I think, something else they forgot about, but never mind. Didn't do the research. I can't say it, can I? Anyway, here come the Inquisitors. There's Reva. Dee. And for some reason, they seem to head straight for Owen. She goes over to him, questions him. Asks him where the Jedi is, and he don't know. Oh, before that, though, she chops off a woman's hand. Have I missed that bit? Probably. See if I can find it. See if I can find. I'm not going to find it, am I? I could click about from now until the end of time and not find it. Anyway, she sees a woman. A woman says, basically mouths off a little bit. So Reva chops off her hand with a lightsaber. And it's, there we go. A hand falling to the ground, all, at the end, because it's all hot and it's been chopped off by a lightsaber. Cauterized, I think the word is. So, Reva means business. Obviously, she's been a baddie here. There's been talk that she's going to end up being a goodie, and fighting with Obi-Wan against Vader. We'll see, I don't know. That's the rumour. I suspect that might not happen. But she's definitely a baddie in this. And there she goes, she's heading straight for Owen. I think she puts her lightsaber to his neck and says, she threatens his whole family, She says if nobody tells her where the Jedi is, she'll kill this man and his entire family. And to his credit, he knows there's a Jedi. I mean, there's Ben, Obi-Wan, cowering in his where his AOP is, in his stable. He don't come out, does he, to save the day? No. I don't like how they've portrayed him in this, I must admit. But, stoic old Owen Lars doesn't say anything, keeps his nerve. Super brave. The real star of the show, in my opinion. Raised Luke for 20 years. What gratitude does he get? Gets all his skin burnt off with his wife. But anyway. Wish I could remember his name, but never mind. There we go. So they end up, they go away. That's it. Yeah, he berates Reva because she's impulsive. She does just do things. Like she chopped off that woman's hand, and the Inquisitors are trying to be a bit more methodical, but she's not helping matters. And for some reason, she's obsessed with Obi-Wan Kenobi. I don't know why. It doesn't say. Maybe it will later. But she wants to find Obi-Wan Kenobi. Maybe he's famous among he's the one that got away. I mean, a few got away, but he's probably the most famous of the Jedi, along with Yoda, that got away. Anyway, she'll never know how close she came to finding him because he's just there. And here he goes. He comes out and he thanks Owen. And Owen, fobs him off, basically. Anyway, so there we go. Back at Alderaan. I'm not going to do the joke. Looking in Alderaan places. Right, so anyway, some of, I don't know if it's Bail Organa or his missus's family. They've arrived. And he's, I know she's adopted, but it's like her cousin. And he's a brat. He's even more of a brat than she is. Anyway, so she's at this reception for him. We see 3PO. C-3PO. You know what I mean. We see C-3PO. See if I can. There he is. There's 3PO. Why he's there, I don't know. I thought he belonged to the captain of the Tantive 4, Captain Antilles. I thought he owned, because he said in A New Hope, our last owner was Captain Antilles. In the book, it was Captain Colton, but whatever. So I thought it belonged to them now, not the Organas. Don't know. Maybe, I know there's another 9 years or so before A New Hope, but anyway, there's reception. And there he is. There's her cousin, adoptive cousin. Everybody must know she's adopted because he says you're not a real Organa. Anyway, she basically, I think she uses the Force a bit to, read his mind a little bit or be a bit empathic, and she realises his true feelings that he wants to be as good as his dad, but he's scared that he never will be. Doing a bit of the old Rey with Kylo in A New Hope, in The Force Awakens, saying you're afraid you'll never be as powerful as Darth Vader, whatever. So she's doing that. So she gets told off for that. She's always getting told off. People are always getting told off in this episode. Reva's getting told off. Ben's getting told off. Leia's getting told off. Anyway, she says she's got to apologise. And she says, she's sticking to her guns because she's a little brat. So Bail talks to her and he's been the kindly father figure. And but she doesn't. She sods off. Look, she sods off into the woods. We'll see in a minute. See. Just leaving her by herself. There she sods off into the woods and she comes across Flea from Red Hot Chili Peppers. And then there's the worst chase since the since the scooter chase in Boba Fett. They go running after her and it's awful, and she's running through the woods and it's really slow and it's really awkward and they're tripping up like some crappy comedy. But they catch her anyway. They capture her and they put a bag on her head and take her away. They're kidnapping her. So Obi-Wan gets a hologram from see if I can find it. He hears a beep and he goes into his things and he gets a hologram emitter or whatever they call them. So he gets a hologram from Bail Organa and his missus. You know, if I can get to that, there we go. There they are, asking for help. Obi-Wan, you're my only hope, sort of thing. You know, Leia's being kidnapped. They want him to help, and he says, but he's supposed to stay there to watch the boy. He says, but, you know, this is his twin sister. She's just as important, because it's the Star She You Wars. Whatever. Star Wars She... I don't know. But he says, I think he says at first he's not going to help. Then we see Leia with the captors, basically being snarky with them. Then he's back at work, end of the day. He goes back home, and I think Bail Organa's there. Oh no, they're in Mos Eisley. They've caught that Jedi. Sorry, I can't remember his name. I think he was played by Benny Safdie, I think. They've strung him up. They haven't hanged him. He's not hanged by his neck. But he's just strung up. I presume he's dead. He looks dead, but his head's up, isn't it? Maybe that bit's there, that bit of string there. Maybe that's holding his head up. I don't know. But he's being left there as a message to the population. Don't hide Jedi from us. We'll find them and get them. Anyway, so he goes home. His moisture evaporated there. And Bail Organa's there. So obviously it's not a secret where he bloody lives, is it? So the Jawa knows where he lives. That Jedi finds him. Now Bail Organa's found him. Knows where he lives. So it's obviously not a secret. So he's gone in person. Didn't take long to get there. But, you know, this is modern. It's modern sci-fi. Everywhere is within hours of everywhere else. It does me head in. Remember the days of old Star Wars and Star Trek where you used to set off somewhere in hyperspace. You'd be in hyperspace for ages. You had time to practice with your drone thing or play chess or whatever. But no, they go and boom, they're there. Anyway. So he's there in person asking for his help. So basically there's no choice. So he agrees. So anyway, there's Leia still being held captive. Look, she's tied up. Bless her little cotton socks, even though she's a terrible character. There, Flea goes in, threatens her, you know, threatening little girls. Oh, aye, breaks Lola, takes it off her and throws Lola on the ground. She's broken. There's Ben. He goes into the desert and he's looking for his lightsabers. He's buried them somewhere in the middle of the desert. Somehow he finds it. Maybe he uses the Force. Spin it on him. Is it going to do it, or we're going to see it in a moment? Oh, must be in a minute. There we find out, I think, that it was Reva that sent them to get Princess Leia. Because somehow Reva knows that Bail Organa will go and ask for the help of Obi-Wan Kenobi. I don't know how she knows this. It's all, you know, a bit pie in the sky. How would she? I mean, she might suspect that he would, but she wouldn't know, would she? So it's all this plan is contingent that Bail Organa would go ask Obi-Wan for help, which he did. And there he is digging up his Jedi clobber. See, in this box, there's his own lightsaber, and there's also, for God's sake, there's also Anakin's lightsaber, as we'll see. Crying out loud. Pardon me. Go on, show us. Oh, for Christ's sake. You're not going to show us, are you, you sodding video? Oh. It's all right. I'm tutting and umming and ahhing in the middle of a review. It's because I'm trying to find the right bit on the video to show you his lightsabers. Here we go. So he uncovers, and there we go. There's his own lightsaber, and there's Anakin's lightsaber. That's Obi-Wan's, that's Anakin's. That's one that Luke ends up with, obviously. That he stole from the dying, burning body of Anakin Skywalker, a.k.a. Darth Vader. Right, so that's where we find out that Reva is behind the kidnap to draw out Obi-Wan. By the way, we find out that she's gone to somewhere called, I can't remember, is it Daewoo? I think it's Daewoo, isn't it? I thought they were a company that used to make videos and tellies. But now it's a planet in Star Wars. So he's going to Mos Eisley to get transport to Daewoo. Why? I don't know why. Why would there be transport from Mos Eisley to Daewoo? It seems like anywhere you can go anywhere, can't you, in the Star Wars universe? You can just go on a transport. It takes you exactly where you're going. How many planets is there in the galaxy? Billions, but they're always going exactly where they need to go. I suppose you haven't to think about it. You haven't to think about it. Anyway, so he gets his ticket eventually. I think she noticed he's got his lightsaber on his belt. He's not being very cautious. That's the end. That's the end of episode 1. There we go. Teleplay by Joby Harold. People never heard of. So there we go. So that's the end of episode 1. So then we go to episode 2. Are you ready for this? I think that's the recap, I think. Let me go. Yes, so we'll start off with the recap of episode 1, I think. Yeah. So we've only just bloody seen episode 1, I mean, for crying out loud. What do you need a recap for? Because they didn't originally plan to have both episodes start on the same day, did they? They changed their broadcast plans for some reason. Anyway, so we'll get there in the end. Come on, program, start. Here we go. Right. Oh, for crying out loud. Yes, the title. Yes, we know. There we go. He's arriving at Daewoo. Is it? I think it's Daewoo. In the ship. I don't know if that's the same ship that set off from Tatooine. I don't know. Probably is. So it arrives and we see it's all lots of lights in the dark on the nighttime side. So it's a very not civilized, but you know what I mean, industrialized planet, and it's very Blade Runner-esque. We're going to see it here. It lands on the docking platforms, landing platforms, whatever you want to call them. There is Obi-Wan. Looks like it's at Grand Central Station somewhere, doesn't he? Or Euston. He asks this chap, I forgot who he's asking for. He's asking for somebody. I can't remember now. Oh no, I think he says he's looking for his daughter, that's it. And this fella, he fobs him off, so he's no help. So then he heads off into the city, and we're going to see it. There we go. It's very, let's see if we can get an establishing shot. There we go. It's very Blade Runner-esque, isn't it? Or Mega City 1. Or, you know, the depths of Coruscant. I imagine the deep bowels of Coruscant are like this. Down below. Yeah. So, anyway, it looks very good in that, doesn't it? Very good. Very good. Very reminiscent of what I'd imagine the Star Wars Underworld series would have been like. But we'll never see that, probably. So, anyway, what does he do? He gets some drugs given to him. I see he's a clone trooper begging for money on the street. There we go. He's played by Temma Morrison with all the beard on. Will this character, have more to do later on in the series? I don't know. Or is it just a cameo? I don't know. I think in the trailer we did see a clone trooper, didn't we? Not just sitting there like that begging for money. So I think he might come back into it later on to save Obi-Wan, because you never know, he might even recognise him. I thought he was going to say, oh, Captain, whatever, or, but he don't. He gives him some brass, i.e. money. And there we go, there's some stormtroopers. Clone troopers were the old, stormtroopers are the new. Obviously the clone troopers will be starting to die out, won't they? Because remember, they age more quickly. Anyway, so there we go. He gets propositioned by this young person here, and she gives him some drugs. She tries to get him to buy drugs, but he won't buy any, so she just gives him some, as a free sample. Oh, crikey. I don't think her bosses would be very happy about that. Or maybe she's allowed to give away free samples. So she does that. And then this young lass comes along, and I think she knows he's looking for a Jedi. I can't remember why. But she knows where there is one, so she takes him to him. And then we see this character here. He says he's a Jedi. He's using Jedi-like powers, it seems. Anyway, he's helping this family. There's Obi-Wan watching. I mean, it's not as if he's just tracked him down. It's like he's watching from the shadows, as though he's followed him and tracked him down. That young lass just took him there, didn't she? But never mind. So he's helping this family get off planet. He's sending them to Corellia, and they pay him some money. And there you go. And he kind of, reluctantly accepts it. But it turns out he's not a Jedi. It's all a big con. Yes, he does help this family, and they do get off-world. They get to wherever they want to go. But as he says, a little less wealthy. They're not wealthy to start with, but he's taking the money off them. But he is helping them. He's not evil. And he does redeem himself later on. He's been in... he's in Eternals, isn't he? I knew I'd seen him in something, even though I didn't see much of the Eternals, because I thought it was shite. Apologies. Anyway, so Obi-Wan knows that, he's not really a Jedi. And that's that. So off he goes again, looking for Princess Leia. You know what? I honestly can't remember how he finds her. He ends up in like a meth lab. Puts on the the masks and stuff. I can't remember how we found her. How we found this. Maybe that Jedi quotes told him. I can't remember. But he's there anyway, and so they're making spice, There you go. So it's a meth lab, isn't it? It's Breaking Bad. So he goes back, into the back rooms, and he comes across this young chap and a Zabrak, and he fights them, but doesn't use the Force or his lightsaber, just punches and stuff, and I think he uses blasters in this, even though they're so uncivilized. But not in this part. It's just having a good old fisticuffs. Anyway, he finds Leia. She's sat there with a bag on her head. And, oh no, he don't know, because it's, I don't know. It wasn't Leia, it was, a puppet thing, it wasn't her. So they've captured him. And it wasn't about Leia, or about him, Reva wanted Obi-Wan. But Ben remembers he's got that spice drugs vial in his pocket, so he throws that down. In a minute, after Flea shouts at him for a bit, "Come on, throw the bloody thing down." There we go. Throws it down, and they're all coughing and spluttering. Is it Viviro from Far Cry 6? It looks like it, doesn't it? You probably don't know what I'm talking about. It's a game. So So anyway, he runs out, and he finds Leia. There she is. You can't see, but she's just hiding down here, and she tries to sneak past him. I think she punches him in the gut. Tries to run past, but he grabs her and says, "I'm here to rescue you." And she says, "You're a bit short for a stormtrooper." I'm lying. She don't say that. But it's it's reminiscent of that scene. I'm here to rescue you. So they run away into the depths of Dayu. They get changed, change the clothes. So they're on the run. The Inquisitors arrive in a minute. There they are. Reva's arrived. The others arrive as well, but she's here first. And she's not happy. There's Rupert Friend. Look, hasn't got sharp teeth there, has he? Don't look to have. He's not happy. Oh, there's a new one that we haven't seen before. Don't ask me her name. I'm sure she's got a name, but she never speaks, so whatever. So basically, he's telling off Reva again, that he learns of her plot to draw out Obi-Wan, and he don't understand really why she's obsessed with Obi-Wan. He says it's an obsession with her. We don't know why that is. She doesn't explain herself. So he tells her to stand down. They're gonna find him, but she don't. There you go. She puts out basically a bounty. She puts a bounty out on Obi-Wan and all the bounty hunters in Dayu. There seems to be a lot of them. Get this bounty on their little holographic communicator things or screens where they are. So everybody's looking for him. Looking for Obi-Wan. There we go. Anyway, the upshot is they end up running for their lives. And Leia gets scared and she runs off and she falls out with Obi-Wan. She said, something along the lines of, you're just like all the others, whatever. And she runs off, and Obi-Wan chases her. Oh, there we are. There we go. There's Reva watching from on high. That says like 6-7, doesn't it? VI7. I'm sure it's supposed to be Arabic. But somebody says 6 and 7. Roman numerals and Arabic numerals. There's Leia waiting on the floor. She's actually got vibes to me of... she hasn't got vibes of Leia. She's got vibes of Sindel from the Ewoks films. Remember them? Don't ask me the actress's name. Aubrey something. I can't remember her surname. Aubrey something or other. Anyway, yeah, she's more like her than she's like Princess Leia. That chase through the forest were very Ewoks, the battle for Endor. Right, anyway, it says, obviously they haven't fallen out yet. They haven't done that bit yet. I think they'll come across some bounty hunters, and that's when she gets scared. And legs it. See, this is where it's all happening now. And it's all kicking off. There's the whatever brother. And some stormtroopers. There you go, she's climbing up a ladder. More action. Well, not people walking. There's not actually that much action, actually, in this. There's a lot of people walking, looking about. Oh, here we go. There's like a dinosaur one. It looks pretty terrible. It looks like something from a... Remember that video for Runaway by... What was his name? He was a drummer, and he did his one big hit as a solo artist for the cover of the Del Shannon song Runaway, and the video had dinosaurs in it. Like stop-motion dinosaurs playing instruments. That's what this bounty hunter reminds me of. Oh, Louis Cardenas, that was his name. Yeah. Look it up on YouTube. It'll be there. Great song, great video, and it's also got Del Shannon in and one of the Osmonds. Oh God, which one? Not Jimmy Osmond, his elder brother. What was his elder brother's Osmond name? I don't know. Whatever. Anyway, so basically Ben shoots him, and there's Reva running across the rooftops, thinking she's doing some parkour, thinking she's Dick Van Dyke in Mary Poppins. Something's been shot there, and loads of birds come out. Very nice. See, anyway, the upshot of all this is that here we go. Right, she's at the edge, and it's too far. She's been jumping across these roofs, and it suddenly comes to a wide gap that's too far for her to jump. But she tries anyway, and she falls. But she grabs onto one of these wires, but her fingers are slipping. And there we go. And Ben, in quotes, Ben, as he reaches out, she falls, he reaches out, and he stops her before she hits the... Oh, for crying out loud. Try and get it for you. I forgot to mute it. Has he done it? He's done it already, hasn't he, I think. Anyway, he stops her before she hits the ground and then lowers her down. Luckily, she didn't do a off Spider-Man. You know what I mean. Come on. There we go. She hasn't splattered. He's stopped her before she hit the ground, and she's okay. Right, so what happens then? So he collects her and off they go. He says, "Hey, you are a Jedi." Yeah, whatever. I suppose I am. He realises then, he is a Jedi. She's made him realise it. But there's still stormtroopers looking for him. Oh, there we go. Here he arrives, and he says, he does help people. He's trying to redeem himself, and he says if they go, he gives them a fob, whatever, and he says go to that platform. It's a cargo one. There shouldn't be anybody there. It's all cargo. That ship, I'll get you off planet. I'll get you away. So fair enough. He does that. So they're having a little talky talk, because there's always talking going on when they should be running and doing stuff. Oh, there we go there. The Grand Inquisitor kills Flea from Red Hot Chili Peppers with his spinning blade. Meanwhile, Reva's still running after Obi-Wan. And they get to this, where are we? See, standing about and talk. Oh, she's found him. She reaches into his mind, finds out where they're going. I don't know if he'll be back. I don't think she killed him. So they go to this docking bay, and she chases them up there. And Obi-Wan sends Leia to the ship. Says, "Go wait for me on the ship." So she goes and waits there on the ship. He skulks around. Reva's looking for him and taunting him with a lightsaber drawn. But then the Grand Inquisitor turns up, puts the mockers on her plan. There we go. Tells her to stop what she's doing, blah, blah, blah. But she don't want to. So she runs a lightsaber through the Grand Inquisitor. There we go. And leaves him apparently dead on the floor. You see him? Yeah. Which is a bit weird, because we've seen him in Star Wars Rebels, which is set after this. About 5 years after this-ish. Maybe more. And he's alive and well. So maybe he ain't dead. And he gets mended. A bit like how... what's her face? Ming-Na. Oh, I forgot the name of the character. Fennec Shand in Boba Fett and Mandalorian. She got shot in the gut, didn't she? And Boba Fett took her to some modders, and they modded her and brought her back. Maybe that happens to him. I don't know. But they're going to have to explain it out there for the fans, because it's already been pointed out, not just by me, but by other people. So maybe we'll see him later on in the series. I don't know, but it the visual is that she's killed the Grand Inquisitor. But if you're a fan and you follow the law, you know he's not dead. And there she is, stopping Obi-Wan from getting to the transport. But she doesn't do it. He gets on board and lifts off, and it's a good old, I don't know what they're called, but like we saw in Empire, and them good old transport ships that we've seen loads of. And off he goes. And I can't remember now. She talks to him. I can't remember. There we go. It must have been when they were on the rooftop. I can't really remember. As I said, I don't take notes because I'm useless. But she talks to him. She says to him that Lord Darth Vader's in charge, and that he's Anakin Skywalker. And she said, yes, Anakin Skywalker is alive. How she knows Anakin Skywalker is Darth Vader, I don't know, because I don't think that were common knowledge, that Darth Vader was Anakin Skywalker, but apparently it is now. Or maybe just she knew, maybe Reva maybe had just done research and come to that conclusion. So he's realised that Anakin's alive, and that's how it ends, I think. In a minute. Oh, no, I'm lying. There we see Anakin in his Bacta tank, looking a bit like the Grand Inquisitor there. It don't look very much like Hayden Christensen, does it? But it probably is. But there he is in his Bacta tank, and that's how it ends. There he is, look. There we go. Directed by Deborah Chow. But yeah, it's okay. I'm not minding it. There we go, we'll get that off, get the stars on. Yeah, 2 episodes. They were okay. It were content, wasn't it? Like I said about Doctor Strange, it were content. I didn't hate it, but I didn't love it either. And obviously there's some things that they're going to have to address. How come Obi-Wan didn't know that Vader were, running about in the galaxy? Has he not seen the news? Obviously not. But you'd think at some point, in 10 years, he'd have heard something, wouldn't you? You'd have thought something he'd have seen a newscaster somewhere with Vader striding about. Or maybe he didn't know, because as far as you could argue, as far as he knows, Anakin, died on Mustafar. And maybe he doesn't know that he's been, put in this big suit with his helmet on. Maybe he's seen that in the news, reels. They have news reels, I don't know. In the news broadcasts, and doesn't realise that that's Darth Vader. So, I don't know. They might address it, they might not. And also, everybody seems to know where he lives. Why, if he keeps telling people he's not a Jedi, and the Jedi are no more, but yet he says the boy's got to be trained. Why would he say that? Don't know. But that's about it, really. Apart from that, it's okay. And apart from, it's a bit pathetic at the beginning, isn't he? Yeah, fair enough. Once he's on his mission, he does a bit better. But it's been argued his mission is to watch over Luke, not go running after Leia. But it could also be argued that Leia's just as important as Luke. They are twins after all, and they are both, instrumental in bringing down the Empire. But it could be argued that Luke is more instrumental. Leia's kind of instrumental in the New Republic, really, isn't she? What happens with that? But she does kill Jabba, which, whatever. But yeah, so that's 2 episodes. There's only 6 episodes. It's basically a long film, innit? It's like a lot of these Disney Plus series. They were planned as films, I think, but then they've stretched them out into, limited series. And you can tell there's a lot of standing about and talking. And people say, oh, it's character development. No, it's boring. It's standing about and talking. Just get on with it. If you're going to do a film, do a film. And get some resolution. But yeah, that's it. So, yeah, I didn't hate it. I didn't love it. It was just there. I'm not going to, I'm not going to go calling it trash like some people do, or a dumpster fire, or as we'd say in Yorkshire, a skip fire. I'm not going to call it that, because it ain't. It's well made and it's good effects, and Ewan McGregor does his best with what he's got. He's a tortured soul, it could be argued. He's seen the Jedi, basically wiped out, but he could have helped that other Jedi. But, nobody's perfect, I suppose. It could be argued. It's another mistake he's made. He didn't help that Jedi, and it got that Jedi killed. So, but it also could be argued that Jedi should have been more careful, basically. But anyway, that's it. It is what it is. So until next time, hopefully episode 3 will be, hopefully it'll get better. I mean, it wasn't great. These first 2 episodes weren't great. They were okay, but they weren't great. So hopefully it'll get a little bit better as we march towards the end. We're a third of the way through, so next week will be halfway through. And we'll see what happens. Will they still be on Dayu? Well, no, because we saw them take off, didn't we? So where they're going next? Back to Alderaan? I mean, will that be it? Is Leia not going to be in it anymore? He'll drop her off at Alderaan and then go back to Tatooine, will it? I don't know. We will see. But we're going to see that clone trooper again out, because we saw him in the trailer. Not begging. He was in his, all his armour. So I think it's that one. And maybe we'll find out that he's somebody we know already. I don't know. But we'll see what happens. Anyway, so until then, until next week, wherever you are in the galactic universe, look after each other, and I'll see thee.